Welcome to the Right Now Show. I'm Judy Saxon.
And I'm Charlie Redner. This is a show where we put the emphasis on writers, writing, and the arts. How you doing, Judy?
Well, just fine. How was your summer?
It went fast. How about you?
It was over.
Yeah.
I know. One of the highlights was the Aquadet show.
Okay.
And you choreographed a number.
I did. What'd you think of it?
Sweet Caroline. And I sang to it. I loved it. It was a wonderful show.
Yeah, it was the best show I've been a part of. I've been doing it for 4 years, so it was really nice.
It was great, yeah.
I was going to list the things. I had a busy summer. We did that. I shot all 3 nights.
Wow.
Then Judy Rizzo Sterrett, we had her on last month.
Yes.
I helped her put her book together.
Oh.
This is her book, Looking Back on a Life Well Lived.
Wonderful.
And that's from Sherry Coleman's classes on GAB, Guided Autobiography Writing. And she just put them together. You do 2 pages every class, and then she put it together.
Oh.
And then I filmed the Jewish Federation of Women, and they had a meeting and a panel about, I guess it was about people coming into the country then and now.
Oh.
You know, it was on immigration. It was very interesting.
Yeah.
And I've almost finished my book. I'm at 47,000 words, and I think I'm there. How about you?
I'm over 48,000, so I won.
Okay.
We had a contest, so.
And we gave ourselves to the end of the year, so we're really ahead of schedule.
Okay, yeah, well.
You know?
Okay.
So anyhow,
well,
what are we doing today?
We are having a wonderful guest, Susie Schaefer. Let me tell you a little bit about her. She's from California, Napa. She's a graduate of Cal Poly. She is a publishing consultant. Her first published writing was as a published author. She was a contributing author, and the book was called Speaking Your Truth, Courageous Stories from Inspiring Women, Volume 3. Her background is she was a marketing expert. She did work in broadcasting. She's an actress. She does commercials. Welcome, Susie.
Thank you so much for having me, Judy.
Wow, hi.
Thank you.
Tell me about your broadcasting. That was your first job after college?
Actually, no. I spent so many years in corporate America and then landed a job working in local radio.
Okay.
And so as I developed the ads for my clients and writing and producing and all of that, it just kind of led me into the acting thing. So it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
Broadcasting get in your soul though? And
it does, yes. I do miss it. I actually, one of the things I loved to do was I co-hosted a segment on the morning show, and that was so much fun because when I got finished, I'd go back to my desk and I'd have emails and text messages from people that were listening in on the radio, and it was just so much fun.
Was it an interview segment or just?
It was actually like a contest, and so we ran this little contest in the morning, and people would call in, and then we'd have a little banter with them on the radio, and it was a lot of fun.
Great.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah,
I loved radio. I've done television and radio, but I loved radio. It's something that just grabbed me. You know?
Yeah, it's great.
Well, I looked at a video that Judy, that's thinking of Judy in her book, that Susie did. I have to tell you, it was a music video, I believe, and it was so scary that, oh my gosh. Now, what was that? Tell me more about that video.
So this was a music video that I was cast in, and we actually filmed it in Cisco, Utah. It's a little ghost town. And we spent 3 days in the high desert filming this scary music video for a band called Night Idea out of Virginia. Mm-hmm. And the video name is Canopy, so people can check it out. It's online. But yeah, it was the first music video that I'd ever done, and it was an incredible experience of spending 3 days filming this in really cold, windy weather. We were tent camping. We had no running water in this ghost town. So it was extreme conditions, but probably one of the best experiences of my life.
And what was the theme of this?
It was, the theme of the music video was a couple that were just stuck in a loop. And so they were going through the doldrums of day-to-day life, and they were looking for a child. And so, yeah, I won't tell you the end because it turns out differently. So, yeah.
How long was it? You shot for 3 days?
We shot for 3 days, and it ended up being about a 4 or 5 minute video.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
That's a dedicated producer, director trying to get the most out of their actors. Huh?
Absolutely.
Boy, did they ever.
Because I can't imagine.
The scary feeling. he accomplished what he was looking for. Wow. So, Susie, tell us a little bit more about the publishing work that you do.
So I work with a company that we help people professionally self-publish their books. So what that means is many authors will go out there and they'll try and do it themselves. And they might make costly mistakes during the process. So what we do is we guide them through the process, from writing coaching, even ghostwriting if they need a ghostwriter, to editing, all the way to a finished book in hand. And the way that I got started in that was because the woman who owns the company, Polly Latovsky, she fell into that trap of not being able to get a publisher to really help her bring her book to life. And so she decided that she would figure out how the world of self-publishing really worked, and she dove right in. And then when she learned it, she said, I have to help other authors, save them from the mistakes that they can make that can cost them a tremendous amounts of money. So that's how she got started. And Polly and I have been friends for many years, and when she was ready to grow the company and move forward with it, she said, hey, do you want to come on board and give this a shot? And I said, absolutely, I would love to do it.
Well, go back for a second then. The status of the industry today, is there like 3 or 4 major publishing companies, and then what happens after that? There's these companies that charge a lot of money. I know a woman that paid $9,000 or $12,000 to have a book done.
Yeah.
So what's the status? What's the prospects of someone writing a book and getting a traditional publishing deal?
So traditional publishing is really difficult if you don't have a huge platform and a huge following. So maybe 1% of people that submit to traditional publishing are actually picked up, which is not great odds. So for an author to make sure that they're getting published, they might look at some other methods, which is, you know, the mom and pop shops of publishing, which are great, but many of them are small, they don't have a lot of money, and sometimes they go out of business.
Is
do.
that like
with
an
your rights, right?
Yes, exactly. And then they own the rights to your book, and so you're kind of stuck.
Is that like an independent publisher? What is an independent
So
publisher?
an independent publisher is someone like a small, like I said, mom and pop publishing
that's what
company.
I
Yes.
thought, yeah.
There's also the online subsidy publishing companies too. But some of the issues that people have had with that is that they work with them, but they never really talk to their editor. It's usually somebody who maybe right out of school and doesn't have a lot of publishing or editing experience. And you're locked into these contracts. So if your book is not becoming what you want it to be, you may find yourself stuck in a contract that can be very costly.
I wanted to ask you though, do you need an agent to get a traditional publishing company to even look at your?
Actually, you don't.
Manuscript
It's
today?
amazing, but
Really?
we have several authors that have worked with us to publish their first, second, third, fourth book, and sometimes when they get to that second or third or fourth book, an independent publisher might decide to go ahead and pick them up and say, hey, we would like to pick you up and publish your next book. And then at that point, the author has options. They can go ahead and do that, but remember, if they're going with a traditional publisher, they're usually doing a royalty share. Or they can go ahead and continue to publish independently, self-publishing, and keep all the royalties.
So it's probably a good idea then maybe just to self-publish and then hope you get picked up if it's a good enough story. How do you get to the #1 spot, say on Amazon? What's the trick of?
That is absolutely one of my favorite things to do, is to help authors with their Amazon bestseller campaign. It's a way of really making sure that you are in the right categories and that you use all of your resources to get people to buy your book during a short time period so that you can raise those rankings and get to the #1 spot. So it's something that we love to do with our authors and help them get there.
And you charge for that service with your company then?
We do, and it depends on how somebody wants to work with us. They could work with us with the whole project and start to finish, or they can decide to just pick the items and then do a la carte and say, I want help with this, or I need help with that. Some people find even just uploading the books onto CreateSpace, who's now moving to
Right.
KDP print.
Right.
We've had some challenges with getting authors all set up on that, so they might just need our help with that.
What do you plan to do, Judy?
Well,
I'm serious. Go ahead.
No, I know. For instance, what I need help for right now is writing a query letter. A query letter is so important if you're looking for an agent.
Yes.
And So I think because that's their first introduction to you, this letter, and do you grab them or not? Do you help authors with that?
We do, yeah. Again, that's one of the things that when people look at our website, they're like, oh, I could do this and I could do this. And so there's a lot of different options. So if it's something like helping somebody with a query letter to send that out to an agent, then certainly, yes, we can help with that too.
Great.
I think Judy and I are at the same spot then. We're both at this point, I think, with at least one of your books, right? We're looking for an agent. We're hoping an agent would help us find a traditional publisher, and
Right.
we'd get a big contract with a humongous advance, and then we go on from there and write our second, third, and fourth book, right, Judy?
That's exactly right.
Yes.
How's that work?
Well,
Honestly?
honestly, I have not found a lot of authors that have had success with agents. And it's simply because you are relying on that person to do your marketing for you and really get yourself out there and get your book out there for you. And I find that the best way to do it is for the author to do it themselves, because you know who your people are, you know who your target market is. And so what better way to go ahead and get that word out is to really kind of take ownership yourself as an author.
Right. That's kind of hard.
It is. There are, as I said, there are a number of publishing companies, and you can submit manuscripts to directly without an agent today.
Absolutely, yes. You
Yeah.
can submit directly to any publishing company without an agent. You don't have to do that. But it's really, again, it's what are you looking to do? What is the goal for your book? And that's why we look at each book and each author separately.
Number one
because-
New York Times bestseller. I mean, what else are we
At
looking for, right,
least, at
Judy?
least.
I was going to tell you the experience with an agent, a friend of mine. We went to we went to Tucson for a book fair, a book festival, and they had a bunch of meetings and things, and he got an agent, and the agent took like a whole year with him editing it and making changes and suggesting he do this and do that, and after a year he still never found a publisher for him. So he was at ground zero again, just after spending a year of trying to get it, to a publishing house.
Has the number of agents declined? I'm thinking of book conferences, writing conferences. Are there still as many agents there, or are people still seeking agents? Because I remember when I went to a writing conference, that was the big deal.
It was the agents panel, and it
Yes,
kind of died, didn't it?
yes.
It just like there are not enough agents to put a panel together anymore at a writers conference.
Yeah.
I think that because of the increase in popularity with self-publishing and because it is low cost, easy to do, I think that there aren't as many agents out there these days.
I don't think so either.
And so I think it's more difficult for authors to actually get agents because there are fewer agents, there's more books coming out there. So they really are very picky and choosy about who they're going to pick up. And it might be a specific genre, it might be a specific topic on your book, but this is why it just opens the doors even more so for people to self-publish and to go ahead and do it yourself. But we always recommend, if you're going to self-publish, you still probably need a good book coach. You need to go through editing. You need to have the layout done properly. You need to have a good cover. You need to do your own marketing. So there's things that authors still need to do, and a lot of times an agent might say that they're going to do these, but if they truly don't include some of those tasks, it falls back on the author anyway. So you have to, again, just kind of weigh, what are my best options? And surely that's one of the things I enjoy working with authors, is coaching them through that process and figuring out what is right for you.
So do you read the work that, if you're coaching someone, do you read their work and then you give them an assignment to get so much done by the next session, or how does that work?
So I'm actually not a writing coach. I actually kind of look at working with the whole project type of thing. But yes, the writing coaches, when they work with someone, they will have them submit say 5 chapters, and they'll work through that and then say, okay, these are the things we need to work on, and then they'll work on that, and then they'll go to the next 5 chapters. Or they take it in increments and small bites so that it's doable, but also they want to make sure that the flow and the content of the book is actually working.
That's wonderful. And it keeps the writer motivated. They have an accountability to this book coach, I would think. There would be that feeling, I don't want to let the person down.
I find people that are writing, sometimes even business books is a good example. They may need that accountability, that putting it on the schedule and doing it on a regular basis, that accountability to getting the book actually done. And so working with a writing coach really helps with that.
That's Judy's exact words last month when we did a show. We were talking about writing together, and she's saying it must really be helpful to have an editor or a writing coach.
Yes, exactly.
Well, why don't we take a little break here. Polly has agreed to let us show her 2-minute video.
Great.
And what do you think about doing that?
Good. I want to see
it. Should we do it right now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Polly, come on.
Hi, I'm Polly Latovsky, owner of My Word Publishing. We're a self-publishing project management and consulting service. After a bad experience with a publishing company, I launched into a deep dive to learn every aspect and intricacy of the industry. A passion was unleashed to protect authors from making the same very bad, very expensive mistakes. With that as my mission, My Word Publishing was born. And with it, a completely new publishing model. I decided to set up My Word Publishing, the complete opposite of what publishing companies do, where you keep your copyrights, your sales rights, your distribution rights. You own everything. We are a service provider only. We manage an author's publishing project through every detail, from manuscript, through production, publication, distribution, even book marketing. Or you can cherry pick what you need if you're a do-it-yourself sort and just want to stay on the right track. We don't do packages like other publishing companies because every author has different needs, goals, and budgets, and you always have the final say. Try that with any publishing company. I'm most proud of the team that we've gathered. We've got award-winning development editors, proof editors. We've got writing coaches, ghostwriters, cover designers, layout designers, book marketing specialists. We do ebooks too, of course. We even have a children's book concept developer on staff. They're the best at what they do. And always, always, first and foremost, have you, the author's best interest at heart. That's our commitment. So welcome to My Word Publishing, leading in a new era of self-publishing. Your book starts here.
Well, welcome back, and thank you, Polly. That was very informative.
It was.
You know what the video says?
I do, yes. I've seen it many times.
I have too, and it was really a good way to introduce the company. We've been getting into the specifics of what's going on. I thought it'd be nice to have that overview of her. So how long have you been with the company now?
So I've been working side by side with Polly for about 3 years now. And just absolutely love it. I was her first guinea pig that she brought on to actually teach the system and train me. And then we went out and started getting more clients and helping people. And it was amazing the feedback that we were getting from people saying, I could not have done this alone. There were so many things I didn't know.
One of the things that grabbed me was the initial free consultation, so it doesn't cost anything to call up and say hi, and this is what I'm working on, and perhaps you can help me.
Yeah, and we have a little spot right on our website where you can go ahead and plug in and say, hey, I'd like to do a free consultation. I think you actually tried that out, and just so that you would see if it worked.
I was looking for a consultant to call me and we could talk, and when I did finally talk to Polly, and we did a little role playing a little bit, but I was very interested in seeing how that went, and I got more than 30 minutes. I don't know if I was special or not.
You are special.
But I enjoyed that. What's the biggest hurdles authors have to jump over right now? Is that
yeah.
finishing your book? I mean,
Well, that's a big one. That's a really big one, is actually getting to the point where you're ready to go into editing.
Right.
And you know, I should note, traditional publishing companies are going to take you through 15, 18, 20 rounds of editing. It's a painful process. So we have streamlined that. So we say we don't need to do that many rounds. We usually do 3 rounds of editing and then go into the proof edit. So it means that it's a lot less painful and a lot less time consuming. We usually work with clients for like 6 to 12 months versus 3 years to get your book out. So the time frame thing is I think a big help with that too. So
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I like to work, I have an editor that's working with me. I have an editor for all my books. I like to work a chapter at a time. Now, do you have other authors want to do that? Or do your company prefer just to get the whole manuscript and go through 1, 2, 3 as sessions, as you said?
It usually depends on who the editor is and how they like to work. The editors that we have on our team, and we have an entire team of vetted editors, layout people, cover designers, all you need. So I put together that team for people. And usually they want to see the whole manuscript right off the bat. And in fact, you may even have a manuscript that you decide that you want a manuscript review. You want to know, okay, what are we looking at as far as my cost in editing? So that's an option as well. And so it depends on, again, genre, length of your book, where are you at, what are your goals, how do you want this process to go? And then we figure out what's going to work for you and put that together. This is why we don't do packages at all. Because packages are one size fits all, and that's not the way it works with books.
No.
So you have book editors and line editors, basically the 2 different type editors.
Usually the editor that's going to do your development and your content edit will also do your copy line edit. But we do use a different proof editor, which I should recommend to anyone who's writing, that you want to use a different proof editor. And the reason for that is because you need to have a fresh set of eyes look at your book that's never seen it before. There's something about what happens in the brain and the psychology of editing a book that if you have the same person look at it, your brain starts to correct things automatically. So you're not going to catch things.
Have you noticed, Judy?
Have I ever?
You know, if I'm reading it on my computer, I pick up little things that need to be fixed. I mean, period, whether it's misspelling or grammatical or whatever. But then when I print it and look at it, I see totally different things.
I know.
Exactly. It's just
which
the way
is good. I do both because, you know, it needs it.
Yeah. It's just the way our brains work. And so having a different proof editor read your manuscript who's never seen it before, they're going to pick up all kinds of fun things that you never saw before.
Which is such a gift.
You say fun things.
Right.
So you ready, Judy?
Well, I was just going to, I didn't mention.
No, I mean for you to send your manuscript over.
My manuscript.
They'll give you a free estimate on what it would cost to do a line edit.
I already have my appointment with Susie,
Oh.
so
You're way ahead of me. I'm sorry.
I neglected to mention that Susie also is a speaker, a public speaker, and one of your topics are the top mistakes that authors make. And can you give us one?
So some of the top mistakes that authors make, especially in self-publishing, you know, we want to do everything we can to get that book so that it can be reviewed by a professional reviewer. And if you make mistakes, and they're going to know it's self-published, and they probably won't review it for you. So some of the top mistakes are the word forward is spelled incorrectly. The word acknowledgments are spelled incorrectly. And whether people realize it or not, but your interior layout can speak volumes about how you did your book. If you've got too much spacing, not enough spacing, those kinds of things.
Interesting.
It's interesting, but once you start to open your eyes to the way books are, you can open a book and in 10 seconds you'll know if this book is self-published or not. Wow. It's pretty amazing, yes.
And how about other aspects of the book, though? Do you want to do an e-book or you want to do an audio book? You help people
Absolutely.
go that route too?
Yes, we always recommend that authors do an ebook. The conversion from your paperback into your ebook is very inexpensive. And
you do 2 versions, the ebook and the...
Exactly. You do 2 versions of your cover, you upload those to Kindle and Smashwords and get them all in all of the areas of distribution, because you never want to leave money on the table.
No.
And if you've got an ebook, you are making 70% royalty on your ebooks.
So if you're self-publishing, you've done all this, I guess there's very little of you opportunity to do international, to have it, you know, say published in Spain or Japan or somewhere else around the world.
The great thing about KDP Print, which is CreateSpace has now moved over to KDP Print, is that they do offer expanded distribution, which means that you can get it out to the entire world. So yeah, you have that opportunity to do that.
Translations for books?
Translations, yeah, that's
a
another,
biggie.
It's a biggie, yes. So you would have to hire a translator, someone to actually translate and then re-edit the book.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a very big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you have a meeting set up, so you're ready to
Wow.
go your next step. That's wonderful.
Well, I really need more knowledge too. It's quite a process. Quite a process. Yeah.
Did you join our publishing club? I've seen you at a meeting there, or are you just coming as a guest or just speaking?
I did join. No, I joined the club because I said, oh, I love these people. This is
They
a great
are
club.
great, aren't they?
Yes, this is a great club. So
Peggy and everybody.
yes. So now that I've joined the club, and people realize the knowledge that I have about self-publishing, they invited me to come speak, and so
Right.
I'll be doing that coming
Oh.
up soon. And yeah. So you never know.
That's great.
I would encourage
Next month?
anybody who, next month,
Yeah.
anybody who's interested in publishing, whether it's traditional publishing, self-publishing, however you want to do it, they should come join this club because it really supports other authors and helps people learn more every single time we meet.
I was looking over the prices and retail prices, and most of these books are 6x9, they're 200 pages, and they suggest a retail price of around $16 or $15. But then the royalties on it, I was looking at how the royalties are paid back, and boy, it's all over the place from $3 to 59 cents. So if you have your own book, you get 100% of the royalties. Then what are you subtracting? The cost of the printing, or?
So what I do is I will break it down for them. An author, and I'll let them know. Okay, so this is say for example, you go to publish your book and you spend $8,000 on it, and to have it professionally self-published. Okay, you're keeping 100% of your royalties, meaning once you're on Amazon and they take their portion, then you're still getting what's left. But you have the opportunity to sell that book direct to consumer.
Right.
So if you were selling your book for, let's just do rough numbers, for $20, it means you need to sell 400 books to make back your investment,
To break even, yeah.
which is doable. For most authors, they don't realize when you break it down like that it's actually doable.
Sure it is.
Yeah.
So then the royalties you're getting on Amazon, on your ebooks, anything like that, that's all extra. I call that your gravy, because you can't really control what happens in the internet world, but you
Right.
can control selling 400 books, and that means getting in front of local speaking groups and book
And it's
clubs and things like that.
$2.39 a book, and you're selling it for $20 or
Exactly.
15 bucks. You
Exactly.
Can,
When you do
Yes.
the math, you're making 10, 11, 12 or more dollars on each one
Wow.
of your books. So, yeah. So
Judy,
that's,
can you believe our time is just
I
kind
can't.
I can't. It's
I
just-
can't.
Oh, you're such a great guest.
You
Thank you so much,
are.
Jill. You guys are great hosts.
Thank
I could talk on
you.
this
Well, we're
topic
all
all day long.
interested in, we're writers and getting published, and that's
Right.
that's our bloodstream here.
Whatever I can do to help.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have any last words? that
Well,
you
I
thought
have
would be,
I have a quote that
inspirational?
I read that is a favorite of Susie's. This is by Eleanor Roosevelt. With a new day comes new strength and new thoughts.
I like that.
I like that.
I have a couple here, real short, by Daniel Clowes, C-L-O-W-E-S. I wasn't familiar with him, but looking him up, he was an illustrator. He did, I think, some story books, I guess, illustrated books. And he says here, I'm a fan of parchment and wood pulp. And he also says, if I only had 10 readers, I'd rather do a book for them than have 1 million online readers. My sentiments as well. I just love the printed word.
Yeah.
I like to hold it in my hand.
I
you know.
do too. I do too. Wow, Charlie, I think our time is up.
Yeah.
And the Writers Club meets the second Friday of each month in the Performing Arts Center, Dining Room 1 at 3 o'clock.
And I'll be there too. Thank you so much again.
Thanks for having me.
me. Thank you. I'm Judy Saxon. Thanks for watching.
And I'm Charlie Redner. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.